Speaking of exciting, I don't know if you'd call this game super exciting, but the weather had something to play in it. They say it never rains in Autzen Stadium, but there was some rain coming down pretty hard. Wisconsin was a team that hadn't scored a touchdown, I think, in 11 straight quarters, going back to the Michigan game in early October. But it was a slow start for Oregon. But this is it's kind of up and down for Oregon. I'm not sure how I feel about this team. Yeah. This is a team that went on the road, put up 750 yards of offense against a Rutgers team last week in a 56-10 rout, and then they come back home and struggle a little bit against a Wisconsin team that we know their issues, and Luke Fickell likely, I'm going to say likely, but potentially out as a head coach by the end of this season. What are we to make of Oregon here after week 9?
Well, I feel like we went from, hey, Big Ten, they got 4 teams there at the top, and then it's like, okay, Penn State gone. All right, we got 3 teams at the top, and it's really impressive. Okay, and now Oregon's like, kind of fizzling out a little bit, I feel like. And now I'm at the point where the only 2 teams that I feel like I really trust in the Big Ten, Ohio State and Indiana. Right. And I think it's more so just predicated on the fact of I believe in both of their defenses, right, to be dominant and to win in dominant fashion. And we saw that again today with Indiana's performance against UCLA. It was like the perfect games of like, oh, you know, hey, we'll see UCLA. Nope, no problem at all. Took care of it all 3 phases. The defense was locked in. Fernando Mendoza didn't have to do much today. Hemby and Black did an awesome job running the football. They get guys open in the passing game. They can dominate the line of scrimmage. So Oregon, I don't know. It's like one of the 7-1 football teams in the country right now where like I like what they're doing. Dare I say it, I feel like at times maybe just a little bit too much of a finesse-style football team, and I think ultimately that's what bothers me about Oregon just a little bit.
Don't tell Dan Lanning. He's not going to like
He is not. And I'm sorry, Dan. I'm sorry, but there's just something about the team when I watch them.
I'm with you. No,
where I just like I wish there was just a little bit more, grit to them, and I feel like I see that from Indiana. I see that sometimes from, or all the time from Ohio State, right? And I just want to see that more from Oregon.
They're a young football team.
That's a great point, too.
And I think that's the reason why Oregon kind of plays towards that level. But they're well coached. And that's the reason why we still look at them as a top 10 team in the entire country. And for Indiana, I mean, right now we have a poll going on in the YouTube chat. And I'm going to pose this question to you guys because Indiana dominated 56-6 today. And it just feels like they got everything clicking. And they're an autopilot. The way they dominated Illinois. And we asked the chat, who is the #1 team in the country? Matt, who is your #1 team in the country? And then I'll tell you what our YouTube chat has said about that question.
I don't care what the chat has to say. I know who the #1 team in the country is. It's the Indiana Hoosiers. There's not a doubt in my mind. When I watch this football team, it's the most well-coached football team in all of college football right now. And I know that we love moving the goal line further and further away because it's Indiana and it's Carson-City and they're not supposed to be good. Well, guess what? They're really good and deal with it. Yeah. And I think he's also proving, too, that just the evaluation process of how we go through it, because we keep talking about all these stars, right, from their team, and they came from James Madison and all these different places, but it's about just the combination of how they coach, right, how they motivate their football team, and how prepared they are each and every time that they play. Aiden Fisher and his physicality, Hardy at the linebacker position, Pons, right, and Moore in the secondary, just lights out. So I just feel like right now there is zero weakness to the Indiana Hoosiers football team.
Yeah. Shout out to someone in the chat that just went, Hoosiers? Right. But apparently
don't do that to your boss.
Right? Apparently the whole chat doesn't seem to agree because 76% when they were asked if the Hoosiers are the #1 team in the country, they said no. Now,
Who is?
Everyone's going with Ohio State. They're going with Ohio State.
Easy one.
The Texas win doesn't look.
Who have they beat? Who has Ohio State really beat so far?